in violation of a Torah prohibition. So we skip a little bit down to the end of the third line of Tosfos. The very end, V'yesh Lomar, the Ein Shach Bal Tosef, V'asiyas mitzvah achas beis pa'amim. Says that Bal Tosef doesn't mean to repeat a mitzvah. Bal Tosef means to change a mitzvah. So if you take 4 minim on Sukkot and a rose, that's a change in the mitzvah. When you take 5 batim and tefillin, that's a change in the mitzvah. When you just do a mitzvah over and over and over and over again, you pick up a lulav, put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it down, put it down. That's not called Bal Tosef. So Tosef says you're blowing the same shofar. If you would decide, I'm going to blow Yankee Doodle, I'm going to blow Happy Birthday, or blow some other new sound that the Torah doesn't mandate, I want to blow a creative, different, unique kind of Kiyah shofar, that's a problem. That's a very, very serious one. That would be Bal Tosef, besides being a little strange. That would be Bal Tosef. Somebody once told me that he was in a shul, and the reason that's why I always give the example of Yankee Doodle, that after the davening was over, the whole thing was done, so he got up, and after the Tkiyah Gedola, he blew Yankee Doodle on the shofar. So how many halachic problems are there involved in that? So first of all, you're not supposed to blow shofar above and beyond the call of duty in terms of maybe a shot of initial and yontif, of blowing unnecessary musical instruments. That's one issue. There's a potential issue deraisa of Bal Tosef, and probably the biggest problem is that that's ridiculous. It's such a zilzal of a Tkiyah shofar. So a lot of problems. Hopefully we're not going to do that many over here. Okay? So but come to Rishonim and say, how can we do what we do? Isn't that a violation of Bal Tosef? Says Tosef, no. Repeating a mitzvah is not Bal Tosef. It's fascinating. We'll jump ahead 6 months, or this year 7 months ahead to Pesach, where Tosef brings you a proof that repeating a mitzvah is not Bal Tosef. How do I know repeating a mitzvah is not Bal Tosef? Tosef says, if repeating a mitzvah would be Bal Tosef, then you would have to eat exactly a kazayas of matzah, not a crumb more. Can you imagine such a chumrah? Imagine when they send you out from yeshivas, they send you that card that says, don't eat a drop less. You eat a drop less, you're not yotzei. Now they have to send you another card that says, and don't eat a drop more. It would be impossible. Sitting, I can imagine, not an ounce of more, not an ounce less, just exactly the right amount. I remember when I was learned in yeshiva in Kerem Yavne, so we had the practice that they have in a lot of yeshivas that they have a kiddush before the Kiyah shofar. And the reason why they do that is because yeshiva davening goes till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So the minute was that they would eat a little bit before the Kiyah shofar. Most shuls don't do that. Shul finishes at 1, 1:30, 2. They don't have to finish here. So they're 12, whatever time. So the minute is that they don't make kiddush before. But if you daven very late, so that was the minute in the Lithuanian yeshivas to eat a little bit before Meikra, then you're allowed to. The post can say you shouldn't really eat a lot. You're not supposed to have a whole meal before the Kiyah shofar. You can eat less than a kibetza, less than an egg's worth of a piece of cake. The only problem is that you have to eat a kazayas in order to have kiddush from Makom Suda, in order to be able to make kiddush. So now you get really tricky. You have to have more than a kazayas of cake, and not more than a kibetza of cake. The problem is that according to half the poskim, what a kazayas is, or the other poskim is kibetza. It's not clear exactly how you measure these things. So I remember when I went in Kerem Yavne that the posek would supervise the cutting of the cake in the kitchen, and everybody got exact slice of cake. That's it. You couldn't, not that there was any extra cake to take, but if there would have been, you weren't allowed to take any extra cake, because if you have too much cake, you're over kibbutz. So that's what Tosa says. Can you imagine sitting down to Seder? Not a crumb more, not a crumb less. It's ridiculous. So Tosa says that's not called Bal Tosef. So we can breathe a sigh of relief. We can blow extra coals in Rosh Hashanah without being concerned with Bal Tosef. If you take a look at the 7th of the Marmakomos, the Rashba, those who have time later, it could be a very fascinating Rashba for many, many different reasons. But we're just going to zero in on the part that's relevant for us. And the 7th of the Marmakomos, it's 4 lines from the bottom, towards the very end of the line. Says the Rashba, I don't think it's a problem altogether. The whole question of Bal Tosef is not a problem. Bal Tosef means when you, as a private citizen, decide to add on mitzvahs. You decide to throw in another min. You decide to do something different. You go to Kohen, Shahosid Bracha B'Shalom. If a Kohen decides, well, just read Brachas and Brachas Kohenim, let me give you another one. Or Minami Yashim B'Shmini B'Sukkah B'Shkav Mitzvah. Or if a person eats or sleeps in the Sukkah and Shmini Atzeres in Eretz Yisrael. He's not talking about Chutzot. I don't want to talk about that now. But in Eretz Yisrael, you're not allowed to sit in the Sukkah and Shmini Atzeres. If a guy does that on his own, that's a problem. But you skip down to the second line from the bottom, the very end. Masha Amdu Chachamim Metiknu L'Tzorech Ein Kan Bal Tosef. If the Rabbanim tell you to do it, if the Beis Din institutes to do it, that's not Bal Tosef. Bal Tosef is an individual's Mosif. When the Tzibur's Mosif, based on the direction of the Beis Din, that's not called Bal Tosef altogether. So we have 2 reasons to defend our practice why we're allowed to quote-unquote add kolos. We're allowed to blow extra kolos. That's okay. Nothing wrong with blowing extra kolos. Either because it's just a repeat of the same mitzvah, or it's sanctioned by the Beis Din. So we come to Musaf, we're all ready to go, and we're asking ourselves, well, what should we be blowing in Musaf? So let's just think for a moment, get our bearings in the Machzer. We're davening the bracha Balchias, the Chaz is getting up, and he's saying, and now we're getting ready to blow. What should we blow? So we should blow a tekiah and presumably a trua, whatever we think a trua is, and then a tekiah. Well, let's not forget, we're not sure what a trua is. What is a trua? We don't know what a trua is. Maybe a trua is a shvarm, maybe a trua is a trua, maybe a trua is a shvarm trua. So that's exactly what we do. In our davening, most communities do, when we finish the bracha malchios, we blow tekiah, shvarm trua, tekiah, just in case that's the right one. Then we blow again, tekiah, shvarm, tekiah, in case that's the right one. And then we blow tekiah, trua, tekiah, in case that's the right one. And then we repeat the exact identical way when it comes to zichronos and when it comes to shofros. That is the minhag that exists in most shuls in the world today, but this was not the way Tekiah Shofar took place in Bavel 1,000 years ago. We know, documented, the Rishonim quote from the Gaonim, that the custom in Bavel, the yeshivas in Bavel, not the people trying to get out of shul quickly, in the yeshivas in Bavel, the custom was, that in Tosfos makes reference to this custom, that he says, we take a look at the 8th of the sources, that there was a custom that the Balei Tosfos had also. It was taken right from the Babylonian yeshivas. The kashrak shel malchios, the kashak the zichronos, the karach the shofar. Sosin says that they used to blow tekiah, shvarm, trua, tekiah once for malchios, and that was it. Then they came to zichronos. They blew a tekiah, shvarm, tekiah. That's it. And when it came to shofros, they blew a tekiah, trua, tekiah. That's it. Ad kan v'lo yoseh. They didn't repeat themselves multiple times. Why did they do it in that way? So there are different interpretations given why they did it that way. One of the standard reasons that's given is, let's not forget, we were really Yotzei before. Remember, we blew before Musaf, we were really covered ourselves on all bases, and now we're blowing additional kolos, with the Rabbanan, the Aris Asat, all different reasons. You know what? We have two important words in Halacha. It's called Tircha D'Tzibura. It's a Rachmanas on the Tzibur already. Davening's getting late. The rabbi's got to cut the drasha shorter, and you got to move a little bit, so you got to cut down some of the Mishabeh, move things along with davening. Doesn't mean we should daven speedy, quick. Not appropriately in Rosh Hashanah, but we have to be concerned with Tircha D'Tzibura even in Rosh Hashanah. So the Gaonim explain that because of Tircha D'Tzibura, we cut a little bit of the Tekiah Shofar off. Now, it's not necessary to blow every single possibility. We already did that before Musaf. And that was the minhag in Rav Haigon's days, or Rav Sagigon's days, the Heilige Yeshivas in Bavel. That was the minhag. That is the minhag ad hayom hazeh, to the best of my knowledge, in one community, and that is the Breuer's community. Until this very day, so when Breuer still blows like they did, not like back in Frankfurt, they did in Frankfurt also, back in Bavel, there's a throwback to Iraq from 1,300 years ago. That's how they used to blow shofar, and Adi and Mizeh, that's how they blow shofar in Breuer's community. In most other shuls today, do not do that. Most other shuls today do what we're familiar with, namely they blow the tekiah, shvam, trua, etc., the shvam, tekiah, trua, tekiah, they repeat everything for each of the brachas. It's a tircha d'tzibur. We do it quickly. We try to do it as fast as possible. Get people out. The rabbi will shave off 2-3 minutes to make up for the extra kolos. But the minhag Yisrael is today to do it in that way. Because our minhag is to do it that way today, that we're basically repeating any and everything that we did before, it makes life a little bit easy for us to the following dilemma that we have. If we take a look at the 9th of the sources, there was a big question between the Rishonim, what exactly a shvarim trua is supposed to sound like. So if we take a look at the 9th of the sources in Shulchan Aruch, Gimel shvarim tzarech lasosim b'neshima achas. When you blow shvarim, that's to be one breath. It's one sound. So it's got to be do, do, do. It can't be do, do, do. It's got to be b'neshima achas. That's to be in one shot. Aval, Gimel shvarim trua de tashra. What about shvarim trua? A fundamental question, is shvarim trua one sound or two sounds? Yesh omrim she'elo tzarech lasosim b'neshima achas. Some say it could be in two breaths. And some say in one breath. And you know what the Shulchan Aruch recommends? make everybody happy. Remember, we have this theme from Rosh Hashanah, make everybody happy. For Yerei Shemayim Yetzi Dekulam. Who doesn't want to be Yerei Shemayim Rosh Hashanah? Says the Shulchan Aruch, make everybody happy. But Tkiyas the Miyusha V'Yaseh Mishmachas. In the first set of Tkiyas, do it with one breath. Tkiyas the Me'umah V'Yaseh V'Beis B'Shimas. And during Chalos HaShatz, do it with 2 breaths. That's the minute that the Shulchan Aruch quotes. The Ramah quotes other minhagim, we just do everything with 2 breaths. A very common minute that exists in many communities, I don't know what the minute here is, but in my shul is that we don't do it this way. What we do is as follows, is that we blow everything minishimachas. Maybe before Musaf we blow Shvam Truas in 1 breath, and during Musaf 1 breath. We have a minute today that we blow extra kolos. When all's done, we want to get to the magic number of 100 for a very esoteric reason named Sisra, not for right now, but we want to get to that magic number 100, so we blow a whole bunch of new sounds after Musaf is over, and in those sounds, so we blow Beis Neshimas. Is that the minute here? Oh, okay, Baruch came out to the Passaic. Okay, we're in a good company. Okay? So again, there are different, we all got it from the same place.
Do you follow her?
What? From a burger food. Okay. So different customs as to how to get in this Beis Neshimas, the Shemachas, etc. So when all the dust settles, I hope and pray we make things a little bit clearer in terms of what we're doing, why we're doing, what we're doing. Again, there are different stages of what's happening here. The basic tzuras mitzvah min HaTorah is a tekiah, whatever trua means, tekiah 3 times. That's the mitzvah min HaTorah. Because we have a little bit of a suffix, again, according to Rav Heigel, not a real suffix, but according to the Rambam, yes, an authentic suffix. We want to cover ourselves on all bases, so we repeat those 3 blowings in a sense 3 times. That explains exactly what's going on before we begin Musaf. During Musaf, we're starting all over again because of the Chachamim who instituted La'arves HaSotam, whatever that means, and we're not worried about Maltosif, for whatever different reasons that we explored. So the bottom line is we're now repeating Tekiah Shofar over again. Are we repeating Tekiah Shofar in a shortened version like in Bavel? Most of us are not. Most of us are doing the whole repetition, the same story, with all the truths and all the sveikas and everything once again. If the davening is over, then there's a minute to blow more and more and more and more and more. And those extra kolos, some of us throw in for good luck, those Beis Neshimas. So we try to give you a little bit of a background, what has transpired with the mitzvah Tekiah Shofar from the last 2,500 years. That the basic mitzvah we're fulfilling, Kedas Chudin Asher Yom Yodei Sruah, but in terms of some of the nuances and the timings and the placements, so different things have happened, to try to understand, the whole goal is to try to fulfill the mitzvah. So what we'll do now, we spoke a little bit about, in terms of the lumdus, a little bit of the halacha, but I think we're not mistaken, I think that the topic was called multiple sounds, multiple messages. So up to now, I've only spoken about the multiple sounds. We have to move a little bit into what the multiple messages are. What are the multiple messages? What is this all about? So it's interesting, the Rambam, when he addresses the mitzvah Tekiah Shofar, writes that Tekiah Shofar is fundamentally a chok. It falls into that category of mitzvahs that we don't really know the reason for. Nevertheless, the Rambam says, we can delve into it, we can think about it a little bit, and there are things that we can extrapolate, messages that are important, and different mussar and different important lessons we can walk away with from Tekiah Shofar. But of course, at the end of the day, the essence of Tekiah Shofar is something which is clearly way, way, way beyond human comprehension. You're talking about something lower than Yom Adin, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is judging the world in the Midas Adin, and now HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at us to Midas HaRachamim. I mean, we're talking about concepts that are way beyond the scope of a few moments on a Thursday night before Rosh Hashanah. But Alpha B'chein, we're going to follow in the footsteps of the Rambam and try to understand a little bit, try to see what can we glean from the mitzvah Tekiah Shofar. So if we take a look at the essence of the day of Rosh Hashanah probably more than any other Yom Tif is almost an internal contradiction. In the sense of what is the mood supposed to be on Rosh Hashanah? How are we supposed to feel on Rosh Hashanah? So every Yom Tif, we know pretty much what we're supposed to feel like. Pesach, it's a pretty happy time. Shavuos, we know what we're supposed to feel like. Purim is a happy time. Teshuvah is a sad time. We got a pretty down pat what our emotions are supposed to be like on any given special day of the year. And in Rosh Hashanah, we almost are getting mixed messages. And even built into the world of halacha are those mixed messages. The Gemara tells us in Masechtas Rosh Hashanah that we should have really said Hallel in Rosh Hashanah. You know what? It's Yom Tif. We say Hallel in Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, Teretz. When you say Hallel in Rosh Hashanah, so the Gemara says we're just about to say Hallel, and then we stop. You know why? Because Sifrei Chayim, the Sifrei Mesim, Sukkim Lefanav, the books of life and death, our entire world is potentially being judged right now. We have no idea what the outcome is going to be. And we're going to sing a song, we're going to sing and dance, and celebrate, and sing Hallel that would take away, that would detract from the essence of the day. On the other hand, when the davening is over, Rosh Hashanah, then we go home, and and we don't cry, and we don't sit on the floor, and we don't shake. What do? Maybe we should shake a little bit. What do? We go home and have a beautiful meal. We make kiddush, and we have a suda, and I went to many bits of basa v'yayin, and we feel like yontif. And then go back to daven. What are we doing in Rosh Hashanah? Is it a happy day? Is it a frightening day? What is the essence? What's the theme? What is the mood supposed to be in Rosh Hashanah? And the answer is both. The answer is Rosh Hashanah has a dimension of the yontif to it, so there is a degree of simcha on Rosh Hashanah. On the other hand, as the Rambam uses the phrase, it's not Yimei Simcha Yisera, a day of great exuberance of joy. Sukkot it's not. Pesach Shavuos it's not. It's not Purim, it's not for sure. It's a day of tempered joy. It's a day, it's somber, it's solemn, it's frightening, and it should be frightening. When a person is not frightened a little bit in Rosh Hashanah, then he's missing the boat of what the essence of the day is. On the other hand, there is simcha. We believe that when Kodesh Baruch is going to judge us in a good way, Kodesh Baruch is going to give us a Shem Tova, and He does answer at tefillos, He does answer at tekiyos. So we walk this almost like a tightrope in terms of what the essence of the day of Rosh Hashanah is all about. And the truth is that this walking of a tightrope in Rosh Hashanah is, in a certain sense, really symbolic of our entire lives. Every day of our lives is really a little bit of a combination of those things. That on the one hand, we're supposed to be happy, if there's Shem Simcha, we're supposed to be the Simcha of Tevlevav. On the other hand, we're supposed to live our lives of Chente and Bachtacha, so we're not supposed to go overboard, we're not supposed to be Schov and Kalas Rosh. Our lives are supposed to be infused with Simcha, on the other hand, tempered with the reality. The reality is, life is not all fun and games. That Rosh Hashanah is, in a sense, a model for what Avodas Hashem is supposed to be. A combination of Simcha combined with what we call Gilu B'Oda. That yes, there's tremendous joy, but that joy at the same time is trembling. It's not a steer, it's not a contradiction. Both of those seemingly contradictory emotions actually complement one another. When we present to HaKadosh Baruch Hu the Tkiyah Shofar, so if you think about it, the sounds of Tkiyah Shofar are very, very different from one another. Not just the way they sound to the ear, but conceptually they're very, very different images. The sound of a Tkiyah is the sound almost of joy. It's jubilant. It's a zemer, it's a shira to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a musical instrument bursting forth with pride, with joy, standing up straight. Tekiah, boo! It is symbolic of one of the major themes of Rosh Hashanah Malchios. The bracha of Malchios is a very, very joyful bracha. It's a declaration of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Melech, incarnate the King. It's a national holiday. We declare that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Melech Machim Lachim. It's a day of great joy, and it's a day of pageantry, it's a day of celebration. We blow the shofar, we carnate, tikkun l'fanik melech. That's a tkiyah. But the davening Rosh Hashanah doesn't end in Malchios. The next bracha is Zichronos. Zichronos is a much scarier bracha than Malchios. Because Zichronos starts with, oy, oy, ad tezveichem, ha'isa kula. You know everything in Rosh Hashanah. I can't hide anymore. Everything is go the Fanech Mibrachis and Acharis. From the beginning of time to the end of time, it's all revealed in front of you. Say, everything, everything, every signature of each individual is in your book. There's nothing that is ever forgotten from you. That's that's a daunting thought. And all of a sudden, we take the same shofar that a moment ago we just blew with joy and excitement, and all of a sudden we temper it, and now it's a cry, now it's a shaking. The truah is quivering. The truah is not somebody who's celebrating. The truah is somebody who's shaking with fear. The person who's crying. As that individual said to me, here's what hurts. We're shaking, we're afraid. We don't know what the next year is going to bring us. That's the truah. So what's the mood of Rosh Hashanah? We start out with the Tkiyah, it's Yontif, Malchus Shemayim, and then it's Yontif Malchus Shemayim, but it's also Yom Hadid. So where do we walk away? What does the end of Rosh Hashanah look like? So the Torah tells us that the Truah has to be combined with both. It has to be, after you finish blowing the Truah, then you go back to the Tkiyas. After you understand just how serious life is, then you can go back and celebrate life properly. Then you can go and blow a Tkiyah again. When you blow a Tkiyah without really understanding just how serious life is, that's not a celebration, that's not joy, that's Schov and Kalas Rosh. That's someone who has a frivolous understanding of life. A person starts out with a Tkiyah, very happy, exciting, and then he realizes, oy, Nisana Toikiv, Kedusha Sayom, Norah Goyim. But if you're willing and you understand and you appreciate Nor V'Olam, then you blow another Tkiya. So the three kolos are really, in a sense, the expression of the brachas. There's Malchios, there's Zichronos, and after I said Zichronos, then I can blow Shofar again. Then I can have a Kol Pshut, then I can blow to the Tamar. Something fascinating about our davening in Rosh Hashanah that really expresses this idea. If you think about it, the contrast is frightening. The contrast of the different tefillos that we have in the introduction to the Kedusha of Musaf and Rosh Hashanah. So we have Unesana Tokef, which is, by any stretch of the imagination, a very, very frightening tefillah for obvious reasons. And then, if we just think about it for a moment, we speak about Unesana Tokef, we face our own mortality, and then all of a sudden, we're shaking, and it's clearly, there are a lot of sobs in the room, rightfully so. Then all of a sudden, we break out this great song about how Shimcha no l'chov, Yata no l'shmecha, and the Chazan's dancing up and down and clapping, and everyone's getting ready for Kedusha, Kodesh, Kodesh, wow, unbelievable. If somebody would walk into a shul at that moment, and there's no idea what Rosh Hashanah is, they say, gee, what was just going on here? So we said, it's very simple. Well, first we were facing, the reality that we're not here forever, and we have no idea what's going to happen this coming year. And next thing you know is we're dancing and singing because Hakadosh Baruch Hu is the Melech Malchei Malachim. You would think we're absolutely out of our minds. So the truth is, if a person doesn't understand what life is and doesn't understand what Rosh Hashanah is, it seems like a contradiction, but it's not really a contradiction. Remember a few years ago, I had to get some work done on one of my cars. So I gave it into the mechanic. And when I picked it up, so we had some of the CDs were in the car, and I went to pick up the car. So one of the fellows who was working on the car says to me, "Oh, I'm so happy to meet you." I said, "Okay, that's nice. Why?" Because he wanted to charge me the bill. He was also happy to see me for that. He said, "I'm really impressed with your choice of music." Okay, he said it was really, really fascinating. He said some of the things that you listen to. And I said, "Oh my goodness gracious, which CD was he listening to?" So I took the car and pressed play to see what's on now. He was listening to the Nusach HaTfilah for the Yom Noraim done by Kerbi Yavne. All the Zmiros, all the Nigunim from Kerbi Yavne. He was listening to Unesana Tokef. This was a not Jewish mechanic. He was listening to Unesana Tokef, and no doubt he was listening to the cries, to the fears, to the audio. It's very, 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 gripping tune, and then it had, everyone bouncing up and down and singing, and so he didn't understand the word in the Tokef, trust me, and he never learned the Kerbi Yavne. He's not in my days, Kerbi Yavne, but somehow he found it fascinating that switch from Unesana Tokef mode to Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. That switch, that's what Rosh Hashanah is. That's life. That's the challenge of life. To be able to go through life, understanding that it's a Zman of Simcha, and we have to be Oved Hashem Simcha, we have to be Mekabel Malchus Shamayim Simcha, at the same time understand just how delicate, just understand how serious life is. And when we truly understand how serious life is, then we can build the third shofar, the third time around, and build that kiyas. And that kiyas will be the celebration of life. And the celebration of life only comes after the Unesana Tokef. It only comes after Zichronos. So yes, there are multiple sounds that emanate from the shofar. There are multiple messages that emanate from the shofar. So hopefully, getting a little bit of a better understanding of the halacha, what we're doing, why we're doing, and get a little bit of a better understanding of machshava, what we're doing, why we're doing. Hopefully, it should inspire us to be able to take the mitzvah shofar one step further. And hopefully, Hakadosh Baruch Hu should look down at our tefillos, look down at our kolos, and should look into our hearts and souls and see that the message of the shofar is not just something we're doing externally, but it's actually something that we hope and pray will impact us for the entire year.
Thank you so much, Sobolofsky. We're going to daven Mariv here in the shul in about 2 minutes.